All right, you guys, I get more wow comments when people are enjoying these braised short ribs than any other recipe I make. I'm so excited to show you guys how to do it because this recipe basically cooks itself. Let me show you. All right, we're gonna start by chopping up some of our ingredients. We've got 3 fresh carrots, I've peeled these, and we've got 1 large onion. We're gonna give these a quick chop. We're gonna set these aside, we're gonna season our short ribs, and we're gonna take everything over to the stove. Okay, go ahead and grab the star of the show, which is these beef short ribs. So beef short ribs are from the chuck meat of the cow. There's usually a few small pieces that are too small to be made into steaks, so they cut them up into these small ribs, hence the name short ribs. So what are we looking for when we buy ribs at the store? Here's what we're looking for. Bright red meat. If it's going gray or dark, it's no good. We want a nice marbling of fat, not too fatty, but a good marbling in the red of fat. We want to buy bone-in short ribs if you can. They have a lot more flavor and they cook more evenly. If you can't buy bone-in, boneless ribs will work for this recipe. All right, the first step is to season our ribs with salt and pepper. So just season them on all sides with a good pinch of salt and pepper. This will help bring out all the good flavors in the meat and add flavor to our gravy. All right, our ribs are seasoned with salt and pepper. We're gonna go ahead and coat them in a little bit of flour. I like to just put some flour on a cutting board and dip them on all sides. Just a light coating of flour before we sear them in our hot oil. All right, let's head to the stove and start cooking. For this recipe, you're going to need an oven-safe pot. I'm using a Dutch oven. Anything that's oven-safe with a lid. Go ahead and turn the heat on to about medium. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon of oil to the pot. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our carrots and onions and get those sauteing. Okay, we're gonna scoop these out onto a plate and set them aside while we brown and sear our short ribs. All right, go ahead and add another 2 tablespoons about of olive oil to the pot. We're gonna get this nice and hot to give a good golden brown sear to our meat. So you might not be able to fit all the short ribs at a time. I usually cook these in 2 batches. And we're just cooking them for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds on each side, rotating them slowly so that we get a nice golden brown crust and sear on all sides of the ribs. Okay, remove the beef short ribs to a plate. We've got this nice brown crustiness happening at the bottom of our pot. We're gonna go ahead and add a cup of red wine to the pan to deglaze the bottom of the pan and scrape up all those brown bits. Woo! You can just use any good red wine that has kind of a mild flavor, something you would drink. Don't buy cooking wine. Buy something a little better than that, but something in an $8 to $10 range will work great. Okay, we're gonna let that cook for just a couple minutes. Then we're gonna add in our beef broth. Deglazing the pan means that we're getting all of those kind of burned chunks and bits from the bottom of the pan that stuck while we were cooking our veggies and searing our meat. And the wine is helping release those, and it's gonna just add an awesome flavor to the gravy of this braised short rib. Next, we're gonna add 2½ cups of low sodium beef broth. I like to use low sodium so that I can control the saltiness of the finished dish. We are also going to add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Give that a good stir. And that's it. This is the base for the sauce before we add everything back in. That's it, you guys. The final step is to add back in our short ribs, our veggies, and we're gonna let the oven do all the work. We've got this yummy liquid in the pot and these vegetables. We're going to put the lid on it and put it in the oven. That will help braise the meat. This is a really tough cut of meat, so braising it low and slow in the oven is gonna help make it nice and tender. So add your veggies back in, and I like to throw in a few sprigs of fresh herbs. We are using fresh rosemary, 2 sprigs of fresh rosemary, 2 sprigs of fresh thyme. That's it. Those are really gonna enhance the flavor of the broth. Add your lid to the pot. We're gonna cook this in the oven. We're gonna start it out at 350 degrees for 2 hours. Then we're gonna lower the temperature for the last 45 minutes of cooking. You could also, at this point, throw all of this in your slow cooker and cook it on low for 6 to 8 hours if you wanna enjoy it later on. These are so beautiful. So what we're looking for is the meat to be nice and tender. And the way that I test that is I grab a fork and just poke one of the ribs and see if you can get the meat to just pull apart really easily. That's how you know they're nice and tender and juicy and ready to serve. If the meat feels tough at all, we can put the lid back on and cook them a little bit longer until they're ready to eat. This recipe will make you look like a gourmet cook, like you've slaved over it all day, but it was so easy to make. I like to serve it with a big scoop of mashed potatoes, a little side of green beans, but really, let the ribs be the star of the show. This is the perfect meal for Sunday dinner, for special occasions, or when you're having company over and you don't want to slave away in the kitchen. Look how tender these are. They're falling off the bone. You can serve 1 or 2 short ribs per person, and then make sure to spoon a little of that gravy over the top of the mashed potatoes. This is so good. Whoever you guys are feeding is going to be really happy. Oh, these are so tender. This is heaven right here. These are so good. Thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you next time.